Hello, this is Dr. Infinity. Welcome to Whitepill Media. I'm going to be talking about The Devil's Own. It's this 1997 movie starring Brad Pitt and Harrison Ford. It's about Frankie, played by Brad Pitt, who is this IRA man who has come to the United States to purchase Stinger missiles and bring back to Northern Ireland to use against the British and the Ulster Unionists, or I guess the Ulster Scots. I guess that's what they're called. Anyways, I'm not really going to be making like any political statements like pro or anti-IRA or whatever for any of that, you know. I'm just really judging the movie on itself because I don't really know too much about the Troubles. You know, I have kind of a general knowledge. I think most people do. I'm hoping to start reading this book kind of soon. I kind of have a backlog of reading material right now, but it's called Bandit Country, the IRA in South Armagh, which is written by this British journalist, Toby Harnden. He seems like a good guy. Like, he's been around the world a lot, and he seems like pretty respected. So I'm hoping it's going to be a decent book and learn a bit more, but it sounds good. I'm looking forward to that. I'll probably do a little review of it. Anyways, I thought the movie was okay. It has like really bad reviews online, but I think it's an alright movie, you know? It's not like the best thing I've ever seen, but if I wanted to stack it up against like more modern films and whatever, like this has a bit of a heart, this has a bit of a soul. So I'm going to go full spoilers for the movie, and, you know, we'll just kind of get right into it. Our main character, Frankie McGuire, who is 8 years old when the movie starts, all right? And we just see him, they're in Ireland, he and his dad are on this boat, it's this nice kind of shot, and their family dinner is interrupted with a masked gunman coming in and shooting his father dead right in front of him. Okay?
About to receive.
We then cut to in the future where Frankie's now grown up and he's now an IRA member, and he is having these and he and his guys are having this shootout with the British forces, right? It's this really bloody, pretty horrible like gunfight just on the middle of this. You know, we're just kind of dropped in, and it's really brutal, and all the people just run and flee. Anyways, Frankie's able to get away. A lot of his men aren't, you know, and there's a lot of dead bodies on both sides from this battle. And we have Frankie going off into the United States. He's being put up in the basement of Harrison Ford, who is not connected to the IRA whatsoever. He just believes that he's helping out this Irish immigrant that's come over looking for work and a new start in America. He has no idea what's going on, and he's just kind of our standard, like, Irish-American cop. He's a good guy. He follows the rules kind of thing. He's a good family man, right? But for a lot of this movie, you know, I think there are a lot of, like, good parallels, you know. People said there weren't, like, themes or anything in the movie. I think there are themes, you know. It's about family for Frankie. It's about being unable to stop, even though he wants to stop. You know, he doesn't. You know, he continues for like the family that he lost, but he's losing the family that he's gained in the process. You know, it's relatively like simple stuff, like predictable, I guess you could say, but it's still like good. It's still not like terrible, right? We have this good family at the center of it, and we have Tom, who's the by the law cop. He doesn't do anything bad, you know, he's very much a force for good. And it's kind of like, how far can he be pushed until he doesn't do the right thing anymore? How far can he go without like compromising himself? And he fights for justice. He fights for the truth. We have a nice parallel to Frankie having dinner with his with this new family, and he kind of just looks to Harrison Ford for a moment like a son, you know, looking at his dad, you know. So yeah, we have some basic parallels, but like they're good parallels. It's fine because this is really what Frankie has lost and what he's found.
You got this over there, don't you?
Aye, can do all that. In fact, I was baptized in it.
Have some cat
We're baptized in beer.
food. Morgan, Mom put a lot of effort into this meal. The least you could do is eat it.
Why do you always pick on me about that?
Pass it down, please.
What?
Thank you. Pass my
Yeah, sure.
Girls.
I don't like that.
So he and one of his IRA friends, they're fixing up this boat so they can transfer the Stinger missiles back, right? And we have a little parallel to when, Frankie, obviously when he was 8 years old and he's on his boat with his father, so he has these kind of conflicting memories because that was a good, and now we're using this boat to bring back weapons to potentially create more Frankies, more 8-year-old sons that watch their fathers get killed in front of them, right? Yeah, and yeah, as well as like he and his friend, they're like spraying the sides of the boat. They're just cleaning it up because it's going to be like a pain in the ass to get this thing like actually fixed up. It's not necessarily subtle with them using the water sprayers. Haha, this is like guns, because Frankie is like kind of a kid. You know what I mean? Like he's still trying to have that innocence that he's lost when he and his friends are like kind of ducking and covering like they're playing with guns, I like this scene with Frankie and Tommy. Tommy is Harrison Ford. They're playing pool together, it's Irish versus Italians. That's always great. That's always great stuff. But it's just good, like kind of pseudo father-son bonding between the two of them.
You and the good sergeant, me and Joey, Italians versus Irish.
Throw the milk in the cooler, Joey.
We have Tommy and Eddie. They get called on this like domestic abuse call, right? And they go to this apartment and this guy pulls this gun on Eddie. And it's like, this is fucking intense. This is like a really bad situation. And just like, I don't know how you can deal with like just having someone like pull a gun on you, as a part of your job. Like that could fucking happen. But they're able to like and arrest him to bring the situation to a close. But it's like, holy shit, So you understand more of like Eddie's mindset when he kind of has this bad shooting later in the movie. You can understand like what he's going through. Confirmation scene was good. We see we see Frankie being like conflicted because we don't see him like being that invested in like his faith, but we kind of have to assume that it's a part of who he is. It's a part of his identity, and he's kind of conflicted when the priest is asking them to kind of, do you renounce Satan and all that? Do you renounce evil? And yeah, just like kind of what he's lost along the way. I did like the confirmation scene just at the house. It's just like, I don't know, it's just a nice like American family, and it just looks good. It just looks good. I don't think modern movies really have this. Just in terms of like family size, like family and friends size, I would say that it would be more rare for stuff like this now, which is sad. So we have the bad shooting with Eddie, where this guy, he was like robbing this truck and he found this gun, and then Tommy and Eddie, they stumble upon the scene, and this guy, he's running away. He's also shooting at Eddie. He misses, but he is trying to murder Eddie here. He's trying to fucking kill him here. And later on, Eddie has ended up getting the guy, cornering him, and then he guns him down. And Tommy knows that's a bad shooting because he didn't have the gun with him because he ended up tossing the gun and Tommy had retrieved it. So he knows it's a bad shooting, but he still backs his partner, and we can kind of see his like moral compass is broken somewhat. He has to leave the police force because he can no longer be a cop because he's kind of betrayed his code. And he's always kind of struggling with this throughout the movie. And we also have this home invasion, because the guys that are selling the Stinger missiles, they're also after Brad Pitt can't give them, Frankie can't give up the money right away because things are like too hot right now for him. So they're kind of just holding on to this really like dangerous cargo, and they try to like escalate it to kind of find the money and just get the fucking money, right? So the movie's not like exactly like subtle, but again, we have this kind of guys in masks home invasions, and we're calling back to Frankie as a boy and that home invasion, and just guns thrown in your face, and you're like, how far does this go before Tommy has like a breakdown? You know what I mean? Before like he just snaps. Like a lot of people would kind of snap in that situation and want like revenge and justice and etc. because their family has been threatened. People have broken into your house and they've threatened your family. right? Yeah, and things are just kind of heating up for Frankie because now like some British like Secret Service guys are here. His connections in the United States are getting like more worried and trying to like back out because they're also feeling the heat. There is like honestly like the love interest for Frankie, she is really cute. She is really, really cute. Like if she showed up, you know, and she's like, join my paramilitary, I'd be like, you know what? I'll think about it. You know, like honestly, just that's probably the problem. Like, I think the United States is having a problem with, like, recruitment recently. It's just like, you just have some cute girls in the recruiting office, man. Like, it's not that fucking hard, dude. It's not hard. It's pretty simple. You know, I would be on that like General Woundwort on a dog. Politically, Dr. Infinity is more of a General Woundwort type of rabbit. You know, I'll say that. And, you know, the violence is, like, okay in the movie. A lot of it's, like, okay. But, like, I think it's, like, it's a relatively, like, simple movie. You know, you can kind of see where it's going and how it's going to end. But, like, it still does, like, a good job, you know? It's not, like, a bad... I wouldn't call it, like, a bad movie. I wouldn't say it's something I watched and, like, regretted. Is it something that I'm going to, like, watch again and again? No, not really. But our climax is, you know, we're on the boat. It's quote unquote father and son, Frankie and Tommy. Frankie just can't give it up. You know, Tommy's trying to bring him in and bring him to justice, but not kill him. And Frankie can't do it, so they end up shooting each other. And we have Frankie looking down at Tom, who's bleeding out and he's struggling and he could kill him here, and you know he's thinking about his father in this moment, you know, so it's this really good moment between them. And the movie ends with Frankie dying and Tommy has to bring his body back. I don't really like review sites necessarily online where it's just like, it feels like everyone has like shit taste. Does that make sense? Where like HBO's Rome, bad show. There are some good moments here and there, but ultimately it's a very bad show. And something like I, Claudius, which is like really great, like British television, right? Fantastic. One of the best TV shows I've ever seen. It's like ranked slightly lower than Rome, HBO's Rome, and you're like, fuck it. They're all idiots. They're all stupid. They don't know what the fuck they want. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I hate everyone. I hate modern movies. Anyways, some people have left me some recommendations. I'm going to be checking those out and doing some reviews of those. Probably next week, you know, and that's going to be it for me. Devil Zone, it's not like a must watch, but I think it's a decent little movie, you know, it's not the worst thing I've seen. It's got a nice cast and it's an alright story. Maybe it's not the most believable, but it does an okay job, you know, it does a decent job, and I would rather watch this than just some like more modern, like, at least this movie has like a level of some sincerity. You know, it has some heart here, which you're not necessarily going to find in like more modern like stuff. That's going to be it from me. I have other reviews on the channel, usually movies and TV shows, but there's some other stuff. Thanks for watching. Dr. Infinity out.